What is up, good people? Welcome into the Full Coverage Football Show. My name is Jeremy. That is my boy, Detroit Dave, Mr. Drew Ward. Brother, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here as always. I got the day off work, watched a lot of golf, and so that's where we are.
And I'm sure we'll bring that up, but tonight, we got important stuff to talk about. Apparently, last week's show got under some people's skin, man. A lot of people talking shit on our wing takes, especially the boneless, and we'll get to that. But before we do that, we're back with the legend tonight. Detroit Beastie is going to join us. Brother, let's bring him on. The Beast, what is up, brother? How you doing tonight?
Thank you, boys. I'm fantastic. I can't wait to get into the wings because, again, I saw a little snippets of the broadcast last week, right? I said a comment, and then right on live on air, you go, let's have you on. I agreed. We confirmed, and here we are. So I'll wait. I don't want to, as we said before we went live, I don't want to shoot my load too early. I mean, I have a lot of, wings, flats, boneless. What are we going to do here? But I'll save it. You don't want to bury the lead on a broadcast.
Wow. It sounds like
we will definitely get to that.
Strong wing opinions, and I respect that. I mean, listen, I'm open to all opinions except degrading people for their opinions. I hope you don't do that, Chris.
No, absolutely not.
All right, there we go.
Especially in today's day and age. It's just, how can, be serious. Let me be serious for 2 seconds. Right. So if you have how can I tell you your opinion is wrong? How can I tell, I love when you get into a conversation with someone in real life and especially on social media. I like that you tell me what I'm thinking. So you have a crystal ball. You can read minds. It's my opinion. We all have one. We don't know the saying about buttholes. Everybody has one, and we go from there. But how can I tell you your opinion is wrong? You're allowed to have that. We're supposed to sit and not get along, but we can chat about opinions. And the number one rule is I respect what you say. You respect what I say, and anything goes.
That works, but that's not how Twitter works anymore. Everyone knows Twitter's just the worst place for opinions.
That's awful.
That's so true. It's really.
But we haven't caught up with you in like 4 months. I think February is the last time we had you on. What's been going on with you, brother?
Not much. Since then, last time we chatted, I've joined the Undroppables. I've taken bottom of the barrel to them. That's really, to be honest with you, hopefully they see this, but they didn't want anything else that I had to offer. Just bottom of the barrel. So just the namesake. That's all they wanted. They said, "Can we buy it?" We don't even want you, Chris. We just want the idea of bottom of the barrel. Completely lying. That's not true, but it's fun to say that. But so I'm going to be writing bottom of the barrel, strictly published on the Undroppables this year, and everything that has to go with that. Haven't really told anybody about this. Just the guys in the chat. We have text chats. You guys know about that, group chats, DMs, and everything. I'm going to the Fantasy Football Expo, and that's when I'm going to drop my podcast. I'm going to do my first podcast from the expo. It hasn't seen the light of day yet. So
breaking
news.
You
guys are getting an exclusive here. My broadcast, my podcast will be, the maiden voyage will be in Canton, Ohio at the Fantasy Football Expo. Because I think, and again, Jax Falcone, at Dynasty Game Theory, Chalk, even Tommy Moe at 2 for 1. Timing is everything, and we've been in lockstep. Every idea and concern I've had, we've always been in lockstep. That's why I went over there, because we were friends. Even Mike Reedy over there too, and they said, timing is everything, and they all told me, and I thought this too, that you're Chris, you can talk, right? You have a lot to say. Some of it's not good, whatever it is, but you can carry a broadcast on your own. So let's give you an hour, 2 hours, whatever you want to do. And it's going to be a solo broadcast. No guests unless you want to. So I like the idea. Just me, a microphone and a camera, my notes and my DFS stuff. And we'll talk bottom of the barrel for 30, 40 minutes. And it'll be a solo kind of thing. Maybe throw in some philosophical things, behavioral therapy and all that. And substance abuse, all that, everything I've learned, and mix it in. I think it's going to be fun. And again, no real notes, no cue cards. It's just going to be me, how I feel at that moment in time, and we'll talk DFS. We all know you've graciously had me on every week during the football season last year on Thursday, and it was great. It was a hit. So I'm going to carry that that momentum over to do my own thing. A ton of people always ask me that. I'd like to think I'm not the only one. I'm not special. Everybody asks everybody, do you have a broadcast? When are you going to start a broadcast? But the time that it's been time, and I've been not putting it off, but again, I want the timing to be perfect. And when you broadcast or you write, when stuff kind of takes off in a way and more eyeballs are on your stuff, you want it to be perfect. But we know I'm in my mid-30s, late 30s. Nothing I've ever done is perfect. I wake up in the morning and I have a plan for the day, and not one day in my life in all 37 years I've been on this earth has anything gone according to plan. So give me a camera, a microphone, and here we go. Don't have a name for it yet, kind of some ideas, but I'll leave that maybe next Thursday. We'll do another exclusive, and I'll drop the
We're getting exclusives here on the Full Coverage Football Show. It's great. And that the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton that takes place, mid-August?
Yeah, at the end of August. So you should be there, Jeremy. Aren't you in Ohio to begin with?
We are. We're both. Me and Drew are in Ohio. I think we should probably meet up with you in person.
We can certainly do that.
It's only a 2.5 hour drive from where I am in Detroit. Nice. I'm crashing with Gemmo, the icon. Asked me, he goes, if you want to crash with me in the hotel room, have at it. So I don't have to buy a room. So shout out to Gemmo. I thank him for that. So, it's going to be a wild weekend, right? Again, we're all older. Some of us have husbands. Some of us have wives. And we go from there. But it's going to be a thing where I can see it now. That first week or two on Twitter after the expo, it's going to be like college. Like, oh my God, you remember you puked in the fake tree in the lobby, or oh my God, you kissed her, or you did. Like, it's going to be insanity. It's going to be kind of annoying, and people that didn't go are going to feel left out. There's going to be tweets about that, like, oh, you got to be snobs because you went to the expo. But again, this whole thing should be fun to begin with, right?
That sounds absolutely amazing. Breaking news here on the Full Coverage Football Show. Beastie dropping a pod come August. It's going to be great. Thank you for dropping that on us. But brother, we got to get into this wing talk because it was huge last week. We were getting hate based on our wing takes. Drew and I are fine with boneless wings. And so many people are like, you cannot have boneless chicken wings. They don't exist. If you get it, you're trash, whatever. Let's start there. What are your thoughts on boneless wings?
So here's my thing, right? You can't, right, where we're born, our families, we can't pick that kind of stuff. And what you like. I know it's so simple. It's a cliche. You can call me corny, but you like what you like. I like what I like. I like lemon in my water. I like ice in my water, right? I like chocolate ice cream. Those are the things that I like. And when it comes to wings, I'm allowed to like both of them. I'm allowed to have an opinion. To me, boneless wings are fantastic. But again, if you put me on the spot, obviously I had a week to think about this, but
so you're not quite on the spot.
No, it goes exactly. To me, it's place to place. Like, right, Drew, I don't know if you've been downtown Detroit, but they have Sweetwater Tavern. Those are the best wings I've ever had, and those are bone in, and they're unbelievably fantastic. But if I go to like a commercialized place like Buffalo Wild Wings, their boneless wings with Parmesan garlic sauce or spicy garlic is where it's at. I mean, I would prefer bone-in wings. But again, wherever I go is what I do. Like right now, I'm 20 minutes north of Detroit. If I crave wings, I go to Sweetwater, and those are bone-in. So I would prefer bone-in wings. But I'm not going to hate on anybody. That comment, your only child like boneless wings. Well, childs eat the frozen dino nuggets, right? But adult humans can have a whole wide array of boneless wings. So again, there's respect here. I respect both of you dudes, and if you like boneless wings, then who am I to argue that, right? I'm a bone-in wing, flats, drums, whatever.
So I appreciate that, because I also think that the other aspect of a boneless wing is, in certain situations, it's just a cleaner process, right? There's nothing on your hands. There's certain situations where you don't want, like if I'm out at Topgolf, Jeremy, you made this point. If I'm at a Topgolf, why do I want to eat bone-in wings and get my fingers all sticky when I'm trying to swing?
Throwing a 7-iron, man. I don't need to throw golf clubs at people.
Yeah. To Chris's point, the location matters. And I agree. He's 100% spot on. That's the take. That's the take. There's no incorrect answer for this one. That's it.
And here, I'm a single man, so if I were to ask someone out on a date and I go out with a female and we're out, I'm not going to order ribs, right? My fingers are I'm just going to be nasty, like it's a turnoff, right? So there's certain things I would prefer to eat alone at home. A big plate of nachos, I'd like to be alone because I'm disgusting. It'll get all over the place. And if I really want to enjoy ribs or nachos or bone-in wings, I'm going to do it alone, or I'm going to get a carry-out and eat them in the car, whatever, like White Castles too. I'll eat a sack of 10 in 2 minutes on the way home. They don't even make it home. So again, location is everything, right? So again, boneless wings are good for that. If you're out, or if you're going to dinner before a show, or you're going to dinner before a ball game or a football game, I don't want to have sticky hands. And right, no matter what you say, oh well, you can have bone-in wings, and then they give you a little wet nap, and the wet nap is this tiny.
Exactly.
And wet naps make your hands even stickier. I'm telling you. Like right now, we're just got out of the pandemic. Thank God. But you look, certain hand sanitizers, they make your hands sticky to begin with. So again, nothing rivals just a straight hand washing. And most times you're going to wash your hand at a table in a glass of water. So to me, location is everything.
That's 100% the right take on this, because I'm disgusting when I eat. I'm a fat dude over here. I'm going to eat. I'm going to have stuff dripping down my chin, on my chest. I'll go shirtless if I'm alone.
Exactly.
I'm enjoying it. You have to. And you want a wet nap? No. If I'm out and I need a wet nap, no. I need a damn shower after I eat some good nachos or some good wings. Spray me down, hose me down, take me over to the spray and wash. I mean, give me what you need. That is the correct take. Now, next take, flats or drums?
Well, you know what? So I've always been a drums guy, right? Because you get the big hunk of meat on there, and I know we've all seen that. It's a meme, right? It says choose your number, and there's different things. Well, the first one is just a little tiny baby butt taken out, and the last one is like people are chewing on the bone. I chew on the bone. I eat the cartilage, the fat. I eat everything off that thing. And I was a big drum guy, but then I'm not kidding here. I'm not saying this for show. I saw a method to eat the drum where you take it and you bang it on whatever you are. Like, how are you going to bang a wing on a table when you're out with someone? That's why it's best to eat that stuff at home. But you take the wing and you bang it, and all the meat falls off the bone to the bottom, and it's one big hunk of meat, just like a drum. So a flat you can eat the same way as a drum, and so that's changed my life. So again, I would prefer a flat right now, because that method is so fun. It's new to me. And if you get your wings, again, shout out to Sweetwater Tavern. Should do a broadcast from that place. But
sending you wings on Uber Eats now.
Yeah, you can get them extra wet, right? And it's nothing sexual. It's extra wet. Is they really slather their special sauce on them. So when you hammer it down on the table, like Jeremy said, I'm going to have my shirt off. It's going to get on my neck and everything, and I can eat them in the safety of my home. So right now, I'm on a big flat kick.
Nice. Can you imagine going out on a date, your first date with someone, you're banging wings on the table?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past me, but I wouldn't prefer doing that.
I would want to do it too. I mean, if you're eating it that way and you're enjoying it, like you want to do it that way, that's where you go with the kids' chicken nuggets or whatever they say. With the boneless, stab the fork in, bite into them. Perfect way to go. But yeah, I mean, this wing talk has been crazy.
It's a great talk. It really is, because again, to Chris's point, just eat whatever the hell you want. I don't care if people call me a child because I like a boneless chicken wing. Yes, I know there's not boneless chicken wings. I understand the philosophy behind this situation. I mean, I don't need you to tell me.
No, there's not boneless chicken wings, but last week we were talking about conspiracy where they're growing chickens with no wings.
That's true.
Because we can't find them. So, who knows?
So you're growing them without wings just to eat their legs, just to get their heads. I mean, how torturous is that?
I don't know if it's conspiracy.
It's conspiracy because we can't find chicken wings anywhere, and the prices are going up.
Chicken wings are you can't find them anywhere. And if you find them, they're like $40 for 10 pounds.
And Drew said he's not paying steak prices for chicken wings. So
I'm not. I'd rather buy a steak. It's just the way it is.
I'm not paying lumber prices because we know the lumber prices. I'm not paying lumber prices for my wings. And really quick, I'm not a big Walmart guy. I've been there maybe once or twice in my life, but they have very good wings, like bone-in wings. They're greasy, they're very meaty, and they're fantastic. When my late father was still around, he would like to get wings from Walmart before the Lions game. So I haven't had them in years since he passed away, but it's always in the back of my mind. Got to go to Walmart just to see what their wing game is like.
I get them from Sam's Club, which I think is the same. In Walmart and Sam's Club, like the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to get them there, but that's what I get every time. But now you can't find them. Can't find them. I still got some in my freezer. If you know anybody that wants 3 pounds for $100, send them my way.
They were 110 last week. Y'all, that's a deal. He dropped it $10.
It is.
So anybody watching this right now, if you want chicken wings, Drew's got them.
Yeah.
About $33 a pound. You're looking.
It might be freezer burnt some at this point, but
you could probably get through it. I mean, if you want to get your wings cheaper than cocaine or heroin, then go see Drew because they're very cheap right now.
Thank you. You're promoting my business. Yeah, listen. If you don't want to go to the dealers that they're handing off wings in the back alleys, then come to a reputable source.
I just see you selling these things out of your trunk in back alleys, bro. I mean,
opening his shirt like those cartoons where they got like 100 watches and bracelets.
The problem is like the cooling element, though. You know what I mean? They got it can be transported.
You can stuff your pockets with those, those when you hurt your knee or your ankle, you just gotta shake them in half real quick. You put them in your breast pockets, and you go from there.
There's ways around it. You're right.
Absolutely.
That's an interesting look. I want to see you in the refrigerated jacket. Now, we talk dipping sauces. Are we going blue cheese or are we going ranch?
Oh, well, that's another great question. So, again, when you ask me a question, I'm sorry if I drone on, but I have, I think my takes are, they're me, right? They're just, they're open and they're honest, and it goes from there. So, you know what? I've never, I don't want to, ruffle anybody's feathers or upset anybody. I've never understood the big draw about ranch, dipping your pizza in ranch, eating, chicken wings, shooting back ranch, chasing your food with ranch. I've never understood that. I barely use ranch dressing on a salad. It's not my preferred method of dipping sauce. It's not my preferred dressing of a salad. So I would go blue cheese. I even use that kind of dressing on my salads. Blue cheese is underrated, and a lot of people don't even give it a chance, right? Like, this is where we can kind of discuss, being a child. If you ask, if you have a young kid and you say, well, I'm going to cut up a fresh tomato. Ew, I don't like tomatoes. Well, have you ever tried a tomato? No. Well, how do you know you don't like it? Same thing with blue cheese. Nobody tries it, and they all say they hate it. So it doesn't make sense to me. Blue cheese is underrated. I put hunks of it in my macaroni and cheese. I put hunks of it in my salad. So to me, it's blue cheese.
You're blue cheese, and you're aggressive with your blue cheese. Putting in
absolutely.
Hunks. So do you like the chunks? Do you like the chunks in the blue cheese, or do you like a smooth blue cheese? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I could do both. I mean, if I'm going to dip something in there, I would prefer chunkless. I would prefer a nice smooth blue cheese. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to make, let's say, nachos or put it on a salad, I want the hunks. I keep a little container that I actually get at Sam's Club and even Kroger. I keep a container of feta cheese, and I keep a container of fresh blue cheese because I do use it often, a few times a week, and I'm being serious.
What did you say? You put it on nachos?
Yeah, I put blue cheese on nachos. Not, like when you make nachos, I love the liquid cheese, right? And you just goop on liquid cheese or queso, and it's you just sprinkle it on there or per bite. Like if I can put one hunk on per bite kind of thing. That's just what I do. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but again, as we stated in the beginning of the show, you like what you like, right? And sometimes I feel the need for blue cheese on my nachos because in a way, you look at nachos as a bar food, kind of like wings. So if blue cheese goes with one, why doesn't it go on the other? And again, if I'm at home with my shirt off and just my underwear on the couch, I can fashion my nachos any way I'd like, right?
Damn right.
He just basically said that it's a bar item, so blue cheese should be able to be evenly distributed throughout the other bar items.
Yeah.
Based off of the fact that it's a bar dipping sauce. And I'm actually blown away by that. I never even thought about that. Yeah. I don't like blue cheese, but damn, man, I'm rooting. Like
So, Drew, I'm going to treat you like a child real quick. Well, have you ever tried blue cheese? Have you ever tried blue cheese?
I've tried blue cheese.
So there goes my argument.
Same over here. Not a fan of blue cheese. I have tried it. Chunky, smooth. Just not
if I may,
like blue cheese.
My second, this is going to get wild. I'm a big condiment guy, right?
All right.
Spicy garlic is fantastic.
Yes.
Parmesan garlic is fantastic, but those aren't like readily available. I'm a big honey mustard guy as well for, pretzels, big soft pretzels or wings. Honey mustard is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
French fries or whatever you want to do.
Dude, I couldn't agree with this take anymore. There is nothing better than a soft pretzel with some beer cheese and some honey mustard.
Yeah,
it's a game changer. That saltiness, just perfect. Give me that.
At this point, if we keep talking like this, I'm gonna have to leave the show earlier and get my fat ass something to eat.
I know.
This all sounds wonderful.
Jeremy, just take off your shirt and we'll hang. You get nacho cheese all over the place. What's the mess?
I'll take my shirt off one day for the show, but I'm gonna save that. We're gonna prep people for that. We got to promote that a little bit. Show this off to just anyone.
Yeah, you need a full week, a week to 10-day promo. Tune in this Thursday. Jeremy takes his shirt off and slathers himself with ranch dressing.
One little bit more. Like every week, it's like, it's one bit.
Just be having pieces of celery and chicken wings, wiping them up my chest and eating them on camera. It's gonna be sexy. And people, you don't want to miss that. We will.
That's not happening. That's not happening, folks.
Drew,
anyway,
I'll be here.
To the show.
Drew, if you don't want to be here for that one, let's book it right now. I'll put it in my planner. I'll put it in my planner right now.
Because I'm saying I veto the shit out of that idea of eating.
And that's when we're changing.
Yeah.
We'll change the name of the show to the Hunks, like the Hunks in blue cheese, and that's when we're doing that.
Yeah.
Just shirtless. What the hell? Why not? Let's roll with it. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, there's so much wing talk. I mean, this was crazy. People hitting us up all week with their takes on wings, telling us we're wrong, telling us we're right, whatever. Now, you have to have celery with your wings, or are you good with just straight up wings?
I'm good. I don't need celery. I mean, okay. It's a nice luxury. No matter where you go nowadays, they give you a little thing of celery, and I never knew what it was for. But it's to in between wings, you take a bite of the celery to kind of refresh your palate before the next one. Because again, so many dipping sauces you can get nowadays wherever you go. You can get specify. I want 4 wings with honey mustard. I want 4 wings with Parmesan garlic. I want 4 wings with spicy garlic. So you can, every bite could be a different dipping sauce or a taste. So I think the celery is to kind of refresh your palate, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
I have firm thoughts on celery. Celery to me, especially with wings, celery is a super underrated thing. It's a fantastic dip into your blue cheese if have you, or to your ranch if have you between bites. Also, celery can be utilized with some peanut butter when times get tough. If you got some fresh celery in the thing, you put peanut butter on celery. But I think that celery is 90% water. I think if I've heard that correctly. So basically, you're eating nothing. Restaurants charge you $2 or $1 or $2 extra with wings sometimes for celery, and I'm just paying that much for just water, pretty much. But I do think that they are a nice, to Chris's point, palate cleanser. And I do enjoy wings. I think, but I do enjoy celery rather. But outside of with peanut butter, I would do that once, twice a year. But with wings, they're perfect. Outside of that, in a chicken noodle soup, maybe, I don't know, but that's really kind of the only way celery. It kind of falls flat on its face at some point, and I think it's kind of right after wings.
As a boy, my mom used to put peanut butter. Absolutely, I still do that to this day. But also, you could put cream cheese in there, right? And then nowadays they have dozens of different flavors of cream cheese. They have jalapeno. They have onion and garlic. So putting a hunk of cream cheese in your celery, it's a nice snack. It's filling. That's a good thing to eat before the gym. You get some light calories. You can burn it off at the gym. Same thing with peanut butter in it. So just a little trick if you need some calories before you lift weights, or you need some calories before you run. I'm not running, but just in case anybody else is.
Only time I'm running if someone's chasing me.
Exactly.
And even then, I'm probably not running either. Catch my fat ass.
That doesn't happen.
Catch my fat ass.
We're hoping that does not happen.
Hopefully Drew's not running when he's wearing his refrigerated coat full of chicken wings. He got chicken wings on the left side, sauces on the right. Hopefully no one tries to rob your ass in the middle of nowhere there when you're selling your chicken wings out of your coat. But
I picture that as, if I may indulge real quick, I picture that in the beginning of the very first moments of the first Beverly Hills Cop when he's in the truck selling the cigarettes and he's wheeling and dealing and the cops pull up. That's the only I could see that happening to Drew. You know, he comes downtown, in Detroit, and he's in the alleys and he goes to sell his refrigerated wings in his coat, and he's got a split. It's the only thing I can think of.
I'd be super scared to sell in Detroit's alleys, dude. To be honest with you, my wing business is more in the suburbs. I'm a suburbs wing guy. Like, I want to keep it outside. So, like, listen, I grew up in Royal Oak. You know where Royal Oak is.
Absolutely.
I was a little too close. You said you're 20 miles north of the city. Where aren't you?
20 minutes. Yeah, I'm on 21 miles. So I grew up at 8 Mile in Gratiot, and I'm on 21 Mile in Gratiot now. So if you do the math, it's like, it takes 10 minutes, south on 94, west on 94, excuse me.
And if you don't know Detroit, usually the higher the mile, like once you get past like 8, things start to like progressively get better and better.
Yeah.
Right? Can you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like once you get closer and closer, and the miles are closer and closer to the city, the area is better, the worse. But then once you get past 8, you start getting going there. Not too bad.
I can't argue that. You're right.
It's just these are facts, I guess.
We're like 26 minutes into the show. Nothing but wing talk tonight on the Full Coverage Football Show so far. But you guys want to talk a little bit of football?
Let's do it.
We gonna talk Jordan Love again? If Jordan Love starts for the Packers, Beastie.
Yeah.
What kind of fantasy value are we looking on him?
Well, I mean, it would be, through the roof because he's not going to cost you anything. Right now, at this moment in time, let's say, right? So, a lot of the, startup drafts are going on right now, or August. I always draft, mid-August, right?
Mm-hmm.
After the first or second week of preseason OTAs, whatever. But as it stands now, it's football 24/7. People are drafting startup legit leagues right now as we speak. And if you can grab Jordan Love with almost the last pick in the draft, or 15th, 16th round, people are going to let you get away with that. And if he becomes Green Bay's starting quarterback, the value alone is insane. I did that same thing. I just thought of this. I did that same thing last season with Jalen Hurts. Got him for nothing. Really nothing. Seriously nothing. 18th, 20th round, something like that. And in the last month or two, I sold off all my other quarterback assets. I made a commitment to Jalen Hurts. Then the NFL draft happened. I came out unscathed. They drafted, Devonta Smith. So I'm looking pretty with Jalen Hurts, and that the value that you can place on that personally, I traded off, as I said, golf. I traded off Ryan Tannehill, and I got assets, and I used those draft selections to land some pretty big fish. So my team looked sweet, and it didn't cost me anything. I sold off quarterbacks and made a commitment to Jalen Hurts. People can do that same thing this coming season right now with Jordan Love. So the market right now is, again, same thing with stocks. You're a buyer or you're a seller. So you have to decide which one you are. And then after you make that decision, you have to go all in. There's no hemming and hawing like, I think I want to buy Jordan Love, or I think I want to sell Jordan Love. You have to make a decision and you have to act on it, because there's no time like the present. Aaron Rodgers could be back tomorrow or next week. Is it unlikely? Sure. But the moment Aaron Rodgers comes back, Jordan Love is obscure. You're not going to get a dime for him. You won't even be able to get $2 in fab for Jordan Love. So now is the time.
That's a great answer for anyone watching right now. That's genius. What to do is get him late while the value's there. Now, we're talking Jordan Love. You can steal him. Any other? I want to go this way. For people in keeper leagues right now, Deshaun Watson. What are you doing with Deshaun Watson?
It's tough. I know it's going to be a non-answer, and I'm sorry for that, but you don't do nothing. You have to hold him. I mean, that's the smartest move right now, because, again, let's look at it real quick. Let's play the tape out, as they say. Are people, breaking down your front door or your back door to acquire Deshaun Watson? No, absolutely not. We know what he's a top 5, top 3, real life quarterback, and he's a stone cold stud fantasy football quarterback. So if you were to sell Deshaun Watson right now, it'd be pennies on the dollar. And are you willing to take that risk? You'd be taking a massive hit for your long-term, the long-term goals of your team if you sold him for, 50 cents on the dollar, 25 cents on the dollar. You'd only be screwing yourself in for what? Just because you're bored, you want to make some moves. It's, middle of June, nothing's going on. So to be honest, you have to hold him. And if you want to purchase him, you still can't do that, because, again, if you're going to try and trade for him, with guys like us, I'm going to rake you over the coals because to me, that's what you got to do. I'm going to say, well, no news is good news, and his value hasn't changed because I firmly believe that because I'm scared to sell him, for pennies on the dollar, as I said. So to be honest with you, you're just going to talk yourself in circles like I'm doing right now. So you hold Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's absolutely what you got to do. I'm with you 100% on that. And as we're talking, we'll go back to Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. How bad you guys want Aaron Rodgers out of the NFC North right now? How much does that excite you guys?
Wouldn't mind it. Certainly wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, no, I want to see him gone. And again, I don't dislike Aaron Rodgers.
I don't either. I'd rather him play for another team.
Yeah, he's been a thorn in the side of the North and especially the Lions for how many years now. So to get him out of this division would be huge. I could breathe a sigh of relief and say, maybe the Lions can finally get something going because as long as Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback, the Lions are going to be hard up to beat that team, both home and away. So when Aaron Rodgers is gone, we can move about the division more freely, let's say.
100%. And what do you expect out of Jared Goff this year?
Nothing special. He's going to hold down the fort. I've been saying it for months now, and I've had some spirited conversations with people when I say, Jared Goff is the perfect bridge quarterback, and people challenging me on, well, if he's a bridge, like everybody has their own 2 cents. Like, well, if he's a bridge quarterback, what does bridge quarterback mean to you? And then when I tell them what it means to me, that no, you're wrong. A bridge, so it's just like again, as we started at the beginning of the show, it's my opinion. Jared Goff is the perfect bridge quarterback for this organization who is realistically starting from scratch, right? They had a very good draft. I firmly believe that new head coach Dan Campbell and new GM Brad Holmes have a plan. We saw it just a little bit in the draft and in the offseason with what moves they made and what moves they did not make. That's very telling. People don't pay much stock in what they didn't do. Letting Kenny G walk was huge. I mean, he commanded a ton of money, and for what? He's almost, 27, 28 years old, which is a dinosaur in terms of a wide receiver or offensive skill position. Mm-hmm. But Jared Goff is perfect for what we need him to do. 2 or 3 seasons, you can hold down the fort. You're not an awful quarterback, but you're not like an all-pro world beater. Kid started in a Super Bowl. It's a nice feather in your cap, nice thing to say on broadcasts like I'm doing now. It kind of makes you pump up your chest. And well, he started in the Super Bowl, so my argument is more valid now. But Jared Goff, he can be a very competent quarterback for this organization. And if you look around in today's day and age of football, right, most teams, you need that stud quarterback. Team, Patrick Mahomes, stud, Josh Allen, stud, Tua, jury's out. But they're taking that chance. And if he hits, organization is off and running. If Jalen Hurts hits, then Philly knows what they have and they can build around him. Same. So there's 2 different ways I've noticed, you can build, actually there's a million different ways you can build a professional football team. But the one that I've seen, the most often, most recently is build up the team around and then boom, you plop a quarterback right there and say, boom, we're ready to go. This is you. Long gone are the days of like Matthew Stafford being drafted first overall after the Lions went 0-16 and say, hey, kid, you're going to turn, you single-handedly are going to turn around the organization. It didn't happen. It's kind of rude to ask one, kid right out of college to do that. So now you build up an offensive line, you build up a defensive line, you get a stud linebacker, hopefully a running back hits in the draft, and then bam, when you think you're ready to go, you draft a quarterback. You put that kid right there and say, we've given you all the tools. We picked you from the pile specifically to do this. Here you are. Now, the Lions have a good chance to do that. And from what I've seen so far, that's by all intents and purposes, that's what they're trying to do. Build the O-line, build the defensive line. Swift looks, fantastic. Work to do with the receivers, work to do on the defense. But again, we're several years away from having to do that. But next season, they have what right now? 2 first-round picks. They have a couple second-round picks. I would imagine between now and 2023's draft, they will have another first-round pick, maybe acquire another one. So you're looking at 4, maybe 5, which is ambitious, first-round picks in the next 2 years. So you have this year, next year, and then in 2023 is bam. When you pluck your quarterback, you set him down and say, hey, we've done everything we could the last few seasons in the draft and free agency. The team is yours, and bam, they burst into the win now window, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and that's absolutely what they should do, and I hope they stick to that plan.
That's been the thing over the years, that they show little signs of oh, this is good. They got something good going, and then they just make the old one step forward, two steps back MO is perfect for what the Lions have done the last 10 or 15, maybe 30 years. Shoot.
Yeah, and the QB class coming into this year, I know we're still a year of college football, ahead of us, but this QB class isn't kind of on the same wavelength at all of the QB class that just came out here in 2021 or
yeah, whatnot. I agree.
So if you are the Lions, to your point, it's just Matt Patricia is a dick. That's all it is.
He really is. No, what Matt Patricia is, he made the number one mistake I see people make, not only in professional football, but regular, real, everyday life. And I've seen it a million times with people like us, just, people that hobbies. I love to broadcast. I love to write. I like to talk fantasy football. And when someone has that MO, even at the office, if you have an office job, if you date somebody that thinks they're always the smartest person in every room, that's always their downfall. You can set your watch by it. And that's what Matthew Patricia did. He thought he had a way. He came into the city with this air of confidence, like, I'm the man. They plucked me here from New England. We've had a ton of success there. They're just not alike. One is not like the other, New England and Detroit. And I'm going to change everything overnight because I know everything. I'm not looking to take advice from other people. I'm not looking to, listen to other people. I know everything, and I'm going to get it done. And he completely just sunk his prospects of ever being a head coach ever again. I don't think it's crazy for me to say I don't ever think he gets another opportunity because he was that bad. I mean, wins and losses is one thing, but when you have relationships with players and the training staff and you treat them so bad, nobody wants that around. Like, if you have a player like that, they get rid of him. They oust him. Like, look at Antonio Brown or Terrell Owens. Like, they were big personalities that were just rude and mean to everybody around them, and boom, we can get rid of you. We can replace you. Same thing with a head coach. So now Matt Patricia went back to New England with his tail tucked between his legs, and he's like a special assistant to the laundry person.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, all those things you said are correct. The other thing that I hate Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn for is they've, and I don't want to say hate them. I'm sure they're nice people. This is like hate in like
sports
NFL terms. They brought in players that fit such a specific scheme that now you got a bunch of misfits that you're dealing with. This isn't like taking over just a team where like this guy, again, to Chris' point, like you have Jelani Tavai, you have giant linebackers. This is a speed game. There's so many players that you look at on that defense, Will Harris being one of them. Like there's tons of guys that are like, okay, how much is this a scheme fit for what they were doing? It's such a specific scheme that people that are coming in are like, hey, we kind of have to make a significant adjustment with where we're at. We got to get guys in. Like the giant linebacker era is not here right now. And Matt Patricia thought he was just the smartest guy, to Chris's point. And so not only did he piss off his players and they had no fun, he also jacked the roster up for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell.
He really did, and I have full, to bring it back to the original point, I have full faith in both Dan and Brad Holmes. And again, you could then say, well, what about the last 5 head coaches here? I literally said the same thing. I'm always optimist about the Detroit Lions, but to me, there's just something different about them, and that I don't normally say that, right? As Lions fans, this time every year they had a good draft and OTAs, they look good, and I got a good, they win the first 2 games of 4, whatever, and they just fall flat on their face. But this year, there's something there. Every day we see something new. Dan Campbell's made the chairman or the race Grand Prix, and he's wearing a helmet on his head.
And he's pissing everybody off.
And he's having a blast. But then that same day at practice, he's lining up against the linebacker. He's digging in and he's, putting his hands in their face. Like, he's willing to do the work, while Brad Campbell is up in his office, taking off his tie, making phone calls. And the excitement that I saw from everybody involved on draft day, I'm sure I've watched it a million times, when they see that Waddle was taken by Miami and they were up and dancing, right? The owner was there, everybody. I mean, they were excited. And who gets that excited about an offensive lineman? Normally, you get that excited about Calvin or a Pitts, something like that. But they have a plan, And their plan was to start with Penny Sewell and build the offensive line that way. So, and then back-to-back defensive line picks, and they're hugging and kissing and merry-go-rounding and all this stuff. And that excites me. It tells me that they're not just, fly-by-nights on a whim. We're just going to, see what we can do. They have a plan, and they're going to stick to it come hell or high water, as they say.
The difference is, Chris, they're having fun. Like,
exactly.
The Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn regime was just like business to the T. It rubbed players the complete wrong way. I mean, think of the staff Dan Campbell's assembled. Like, guys wanted to come work for Dan Campbell. Like, there's a buzz, and listen, as Lions fans, we're fired up, but like we also know that we have to hone in expectations because our franchise has been a disaster pretty much my entire life.
No doubt.
And so, but it's like again, the guys are having fun. Like the people are having fun again. Like where the Matt Patricia era was like literally, you can't relate to 23 and 24-year-old people by trying to be the big man in the room and having these dictatorship practices. And, hey, your asses are going to go, out in the snow and practice. And like these guys are like, they're not about that. Like you have to find a way to be able to connect with the younger generation. I feel like Matt Patricia's type football, I know Bill Belichick makes it happen still, but like that type of football is behind us. Like the younger guys that are taking the league by storm, like you need to be able to relate to your players instead of like just going business. Hey, you're doing you know what I mean? And I think it rubbed everybody the wrong way.
But here's the thing with Bill Belichick, he's allowed to act that way. I'm sure he doesn't call players' names and put them down and say, F you, you see sucker, is what we think Patricia said to Slay, and Matthew Stafford talked to him that way. Bill Belichick doesn't talk to them that way, but he's a hard-nosed, a strict, doesn't take any crap, but it's accumulated in all these years, the hundreds and thousands of moves that he's made and draft selections he's made. He's probably one of the best scouts of talent we've ever seen. So he does those things behind the scene, and he always puts together a team that way. So again, in the locker room, he can say, I want you to be out there on the field, right? There's a starting point, and then there's where you get to Bill Belichick. You don't just go from point A to point B with nothing in between, and that's kind of what Matt Patricia was doing. He was like literally resting on his laurels. I came from here, and this is what I'm going to do, and the shit just didn't fly because he did nothing else very well.
And it doesn't work as you're Matt Patricia coming there with your resume as winning Super Bowls as an assistant. Bill Belichick gets away with it because he's won games. Guys respect him. Patricia comes over with just, hey, he's just Andy a dude. Reid. He was a DC.
It's one of the most laid-back locker rooms there is.
Yeah.
And they continue to be in Super Bowls.
And everyone seems to love
him. You got to relate. Like, you got to, give – you ever seen the videos of Andy Reid saying – see you on Wednesday. Everybody going wild.
Yeah, and they go nuts,
on Thursday. Everybody's going wild. Yeah, like I feel like there's something there, and I personally feel like that last regime is way off from that.
So if Rodgers is gone, who's at the head of the table in the North?
Vikings.
Well, I guess it would be Kirk Cousins by default. I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, I'm not a big Minnesota Vikings fan. To be honest, of Chicago and Green Bay, I probably dislike the Minnesota Vikings the most because of their fan base. They're insufferable people, right? So hopefully she wasn't a Minnesota Vikings fan. But to be honest, it has to be Kirk Cousins by default, right? Because you'd have Jordan Love in his second year. You have Andy Dalton, which is odd to me that they're saying Andy, whatever. But Justin Fields as a rookie.
Number one QB.
Yeah, even Justin Fields.
Yeah. So again, to be fair, I think it's wise to say Kirk Cousins by default. I mean, he's a very good quarterback. He's a fundamental guy. And I said it many times last season on this show probably, but Kirk Cousins' accuracy is awful. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Those are the exact words that I said. But again, he puts up stats. He puts up counting stats. So for fantasy purposes and for real life game purposes, Kirk Cousins will be the head of the table. I assume that's a wrestling reference. What is his name? Roman Reigns on SmackDown.
That's where I was going with it.
It's Kirk Cousins, but it'll be short lived. It'll be like a Game of Thrones thing, right? They'll be switching it up for seasons to come. Fields might take over for a season, and then golf for a season. Who knows? Until one of these teams love. So Kirk Cousins, enjoy your reign as the head of the North for the time being, buddy.
King of the North, Kirk Cousins. What a terrifying thought that is. If Aaron Rodgers does leave. Now, to get back to your team, the thing I've noticed as an outsider is, always in Cleveland, we talk about the head coach and GM. They always win the press conference. And Dan Campbell, he won the press conference. Brad Holmes won the press conference. But what you've seen from them is everything they said at the press conference is everything they've done so far. They're breeding competition. They want to keep up the competition because competition is going to make that team better, and it's going to help build a hell of a squad. And good luck to your guys this year. I think the Lions are moving in the right direction. I'm sure I've said this a million times, as I've said with my Cleveland Browns.
I've heard it and said it a million times myself.
We don't have expectations. Do you have expectations?
No, nothing. I gave that up a long time ago.
I'm just gonna, 100% that, but like, I'm just gonna, like, if we win, that's cool. I'm looking forward to some, maybe like 4, 5, 6, 10, 14 wins. Probably more than like the 4 to 5 territory, but we'll be there for all of them. We'll listen.
It's gonna be weird seeing 4-13 next to the Lions with that 17th game.
Well, not really, but
I mean 4-13. That's
we'll
it.
Get used to it really quick here in Detroit. We normally do.
Yeah, that seems pretty normal.
It's going to be an interesting year, definitely. And, let's talk a little bit college football. We got bowl games. Bowl game comes out today, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Oh. So how excited are we for this? December 18th, SoFi Stadium, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. I mean, we excited about this now? Is this the biggest bowl of the year?
The minute it opened. I did. No, I get tickets the minute it opened.
Well, I mean, I'd love to go check out SoFi Stadium. It was, $5 billion? I mean,
ridiculous amount of money.
My teammates at the Undroppables, a few of them, Tommy and Chalk, live in Northern California. I mean, they're very close. They can go north, south really easy. And they're getting together at SoFi Stadium to see a couple Chargers games this year. So to go to a bowl game there would be great for the experience, right?
Yeah.
Who cares what teams are playing? Because, again, you can walk the concourse. I've always liked that idea. I'm kind of old school when it comes to that, going to Tiger Stadium or going to Joe Louis Arena and spending a period or spending a quarter just exploring, walking around, seeing what they have to, literally checking out the bathrooms or the troughs at Joe Louis. Those will never go away. I mean, I love that. I love the idea. But SoFi Stadium is $5 billion is a massive amount of money. But to be fair, that the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl, I mean, I like the guy. I mean, I'm a big Howard Stern fan. Him and Jimmy are best friends. He's always on. Jimmy Kimmel is a very likable guy. He's a funny guy. He's relatable, and that's cool. But to name a bowl after them, I mean, you could take out Jimmy Kimmel's name and do anything you want, like the Howard Stern Bowl or whatever celebrity, the Kim Kardashian, Stanley Cup playoff. I mean, what we're getting is it's not so much the game in the stadium, it's the situation of popular culture, right? Everybody wants views, everybody wants likes, everybody wants to be seen, everybody wants to not do much work but make it famous, because people like Kim Kardashian or other, these 90 Day Fiance people, they don't do anything. They have cameras and they blow up because a lot of people in today's day and age are sitting at home with their cameras or their phones, right? So the Jimmy Kim putting a name
influencers.
Putting a name on a bowl like that is a bigger deal because it's just it's unnecessary, and it leads me to believe that society is trending. It has been for a while in a very nasty way, right? Nobody wants to roll up their sleeves and do hard work anymore. Everybody wants to sit around and do backflips off their porch and try and get a million views from it, or they want to put Mentos and Coke bottles and Snapchat it and watch, it's all not like
right, dude. He's got this under.
It's insane to me. So naming a bowl, again, anybody you want, right? Kim Kardashian or the Machine Gun Kelly bowl, whatever. That's the part that really bugs me, right? That we're going to put people's names in situations on it. The 90 Day Fiance, influence Stanley Cup final or something like that. I'm telling you, in college football, they are whores for money. Right?
We talked about that last week.
The Tostito, so if you have enough money, you can your name will be mentioned first, right? So it will be the TikTok, Snapchat, Mentos and Coke bowl, right? It'll be wild. And that's the way it's trending because people really take to it, and that's the society is taking that to that. And that just means because society is trending that way, and that's the scary thing. So no harm to Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I'm not mad at him for that. I'm not mad at SoFi Stadium for naming it that. What I'm upset with is the way that society has eaten it up. They've taken to it. So again, we're going to get a lot more of this nonsense.
Absolutely. And, I was texting back and forth with our boy, the Anonymous Scout, Drew. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. He's an absolute legend. The Anonymous Scout sent me a list that he acquired of possible other bowl names outside the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Some of the ones he sent me. The South Central Louisiana Bourbon Bowl, sponsored by the History Channel hit show Swamp People. That's going to be an interesting bowl.
The O.J. Simpson will lead the parade, and then leading up to it. I mean, let's go.
That'll be great with Bob Boucher leading the parade. The O.J. Simpson presents the Juice Bowl, sponsored by the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco.
Which was today, actually. Today's the 25th anniversary of that, by the way.
Is it really? Didn't even realize that. I figured the Anonymous Scout would let me know.
I know it was today. I don't know if it's 20 or 25 years. It might be 24, to be honest with you.
God damn. So long ago now.
94, maybe? Something like that?
We're about 27 years ago now? Jeez.
Yeah.
The California Farmer Stay Regular Prune Bowl, sponsored by Centrum Silver and Metamucil.
Absolutely.
The John Gruden Gamer Bowl, brought to you by the EA Sports Company, and the same Madden game we've given you for the past 10 years.
Which wouldn't fly. I mean, I like the idea, but what wouldn't fly because Gruden is still an active coach. Like that would be like naming, Tom Brady an active Hall of Famer. They just wouldn't do it.
We have the Paul Pierce Bowl, or Paul Pierce Boston Bowl, sponsored by Depends Adult Diapers. The Ancestor DNA She Probably Ain't Your Sister Bowl, sponsored by West Virginia Tourism.
Yeah, Maury Povich would be highlighted there.
He'll lead the parade there.
Yeah, absolutely. Be the Grand Marshal.
I mean, I'm sure there's more on this list, but that's about all he sent me so far. But, I mean, what happened to the days of just having the Orange Bowl, the Peach Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean,
that was meaningful, and then you'd get Vern Lundquist, talking about. I've been to a Rose Bowl before, right? And I grew up, when I was little, in the late '80s, early '90s, Michigan was very good. They won a national championship in '97. So New Year's Day was that. My dad and I we'd order Chinese food. My mom would disappear, and we would just hang out and watch it. Mm-hmm. And in between every commercial or every play, these guys, these hardened kind of announcers, they were so professional. And they would say, well, the Rose Bowl is because of this. And they would go back 100 years. And if you're a historian or you're just a football fan, you really take to that stuff. And nowadays, everything is so shallow. Everything is so fickle. And it's just, it bums me out, to be honest with you.
Everything's got to have a corporate sponsor.
I mean, the fact that they're going to expand to what, 8 teams, 12 teams?
12.
12. So if they expand to 12 teams, I mean, that's just a cash grab for the NCAA.
Absolutely. And it makes it less special, let's be honest. I mean, kind of like baseball, right? If you're a baseball fan, for the longest time, only 6 teams, six or 8 teams made the MLB.
Let me give you this case against that. So in college football, a lot of the time we're talking about 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. You lose a game early on in today's landscape. If you're not a premier program, you're not going to – your season's kind of over to an extent. That's the thing I kind of like about it a little bit, is because it's so easy to lose a game, or like you can lose 2 games in the Big Ten or the SEC, and you're still going to get into this thing. Multiple teams will from those but I think the only thing that I have against it is the fact that you're letting more teams in. It's a money grab, but it adds some spice. But again, it's just all money grab at the end of the day. That's what it is.
Well, we've talked about it on the show a million times, and I think we already said it tonight. NCAA is a bunch of whores. They love the money.
They do.
That's what they're looking at. But for this college football playoff, what it's going to allow is a team like Cincinnati, a team like maybe Tulsa, UCF we talked about last week. They're going to get a chance to prove what they can do against the big boys. We'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting once it starts. Hopefully, when they do these games at the home team stadium for the lower seed or whatever it is, they're not the round 1 of the college football playoffs sponsored by whatever, and it's got to be all this. Hopefully they just let these kids play football, and we get to see these home stadiums rocking for a playoff game, and it's not overly, I mean, it's going to be, we know that, but hopefully let's go and watch the football game. That's all we want, the football game on this.
How long does the NCAA survive as an organization until it just branches off to be like college on its own, and the NCAA is no longer a governing body as far as anything goes? Because I think it has to get there at some point. We're talking about paying people, right? Mm-hmm. So at some point, the NCAA goes away.
Well, I mean, wild that I know this. I watched it live the other morning on the Today Show. They were interviewing, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they asked him flat out. They said, "Well, what do you think about paying Division I athletes in these big programs?" And he said, "I want it." So when you have a guy like the stature of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has this massive network, and there's just loads of respect for the guy, and he said, "I'm not saying cut these kids checks for millions of dollars, but give them enough money where they can put a down payment on a nice apartment, or they can get a loan on a car." Again, it's a very slippery slope to discuss this stuff, because when you give people an inch, they want to take a mile.
Yep.
That's since the beginning of time. So if you give kids enough money to get a car. Hey, I got this car, coach. I need some rims. I need TVs in the headrest, or I want an apartment. But
you're gonna pay my ride, baby.
Yeah, well, I have an apartment, and my family. I came from nothing in Mississippi, but my family wants to move in with me. I'm a star running back. Can I get a house? So it's so then certain players are going to be paid a ton of money, and the other kids, like the walk-ons, are not going to get anything. And then that's a whole thing, right? Professional sports, there's a minimum, right? And so if I'm a nobody on the practice squad, I'm still making what, $60K, $80K on the practice squad. Veteran minimum is $400,000 to $500,000, something like that. So it's just going to be very odd, and it's going to be a ton to dissect, to talk about as well.
It absolutely will be. They'll have to figure out some kind of number that works for everyone, but let the kids maybe benefit off their likeness. That's
absolutely
the thing.
Like, and then count, maybe you can you make so much, but so if you're which would mean they wouldn't put labels on it. If you're a star quarterback it would go by snap percentages, which would show a clear picture. But if you're just the backup kicker, maybe you are on scholarship, you're not going to make as much as the D1 stud. I don't know. I'm just talking nonsense. At least you get a 4-year
scholarship, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
which in and of itself is what,
right now that's all you get.
Yeah.
Right. Right now that's all you get. If you make it to, but yeah, I agree with you guys. I do.
I mean, I'm down with them paying just so we can get NCAA football back on Xbox.
I heard it is.
That's what we need. Yeah, it's supposed to come out, 2023, we said?
Yeah, that seems like it's 2021. That seems like a really damn long time.
I know Drew and I were so excited we found out it was coming back, and then we find out the date's like 2-3 years from now. Like, really? Come on now. But
you probably won't be able to grow that ponytail in a couple of years.
No, I'll be bald by then. I'll shave it off.
Exactly.
J-Mo out here, dude.
But speaking of video games, Madden today, they show the new cover. It's the two goats, Mahomes and Brady. You going out and buying Madden because you got Mahomes and Brady on the cover?
Me personally, no. I mean, I haven't played video games in years. I've never, and you might call me crazy, but I still have my original Nintendo. I still have my original N64, and I haven't played a video game system higher than a PlayStation 2. Never screwed with a PlayStation 3. Never held an Xbox controller, the original one. So that video game, it's not for. I'm not a video game guy, right? But again, I know people love video games. They go all in. I like fantasy sports and DFS. Some people like video games. So who am I to put them down? But no, me personally, I'm not the guy to kind of market video games.
Drew, you getting Madden this year?
No, I'll just play the one from 2019 I have. It's the same game.
The 2019 one I only bought to play against you online.
Yeah, I know.
That's the last time I bought Madden.
Aren't they like $75 too? It's crazy.
You get it's a 60, or you get the like Hall of Fame edition for $100 and some bucks, and it comes with, I don't know. I'm out of that. I don't know the Madden Ultimate Team.
To be honest with you, I used to play a decent amount of Xbox, but like since I moved here and since I'm doing golf shows 3-4 times a week plus the football show, like I don't have time to sit around playing.
Yeah, your wife would probably leave you.
Yeah, exactly. Right, like Thursdays
you're doing golf videos and you're playing video game.
Jeremy, my daughter actually did like soccer stuff apparently today.
Oh yeah.
Remember last week she just like cried on the field and just laid there. This week, apparently, she ran and like did some soccer moves. I wasn't there this week because I got my second COVID shot. I kind of felt like shit this morning, but like we're back. Yeah, we're in good shape now.
Nice, good. So, what's our game of choice on regular Nintendo or N64, Chris?
N64, it's GoldenEye, no doubt. I mean that's easy peasy. But I'm a big WCW versus NWO Revenge. That game, I still play that game.
That was a great game back in the day.
Very good,
that.
yeah. And then on regular Nintendo, it's the original Legend of Zelda. I still play every year in December. I play it through. I play both quests, and I enjoy it. I
a specific month in December is the month that you decide to go through Zelda.
Well, here's the thing with work and back then with school, you have time. You have a few weeks off, so I could go back home and just lay around, and nothing really was expected of me. And so now it's just kind of what I do now. And I also love look it up. I have these games again. I'm not blowing smoke here. Maniac Mansion, love that game.
I've never played that game.
I never heard of it.
What that game is.
What are you doing, Maniac Mansion? Yeah, let's hear about it.
I mean,
Maniac Mansion, it's kind of one of those first games where there's a player in there, and there's a thing at the bottom, and there's a cursor, and you use with the thing. It says open, and then you click on the door, or give, and you pick an item and you give it there. And the game is odd. It's Maniac Mansion. I will send a screenshot of it. I played it a million times, and there's like 8 different characters in there, and each character you play with, you have to. How can I put this? You're given one guy, Dave. His girlfriend has been kidnapped by this, mad scientist in this mansion, and there's atomic weapons, and it's wild, and this globe. It's really strange, but I love it. So you have Dave goes with you, and you pick 2 other kids to go with you, right? And so there's 8 of them total. So you can pick different. There's a ton of different combos. Yeah, well, I mean, they're teenagers in college, whatever.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm just trying to pick on kids.
You can beat each kid has a different ending. You can beat the game different with each person. Then cool. You can beat the game different with every combo. So the combos and the ways to beat the game is endless. I still have yet to beat it every which way. I play the same way every time. I don't know why I try and diversify there. But Maniac Mansion is fantastic. You can put a hamster in a microwave, and you can stab people. I mean, it's really good. Look it up.
That's Auto 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is NES, or is this N64 we're talking?
No, this is regular Nintendo. The original Nintendo, yeah. I'm
a
big, what other game I like, and I'm showing my age, is Leisure Suit Larry. That was only a CD-ROM computer game, and then it got popular, and I think they made a few for the original PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Very fun game.
I remember that back in the day.
The Oregon Trail.
Absolutely.
I just played the Oregon Trail the other day.
The original
version. You're still in the Oregon Trail. Okay.
You didn't die. Yep. You didn't die from diarrhea yet. That's
no.
Great.
I mean, I got typhoid in the first 100 miles of the trip. But my kids were like, "Dad, you want to play Oregon Trail?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to play the Oregon Trail. Let's roll." But yeah, Dad was out by, first 100 miles, typhoid got me, and it was
nothing
bad.
you can do about it.
Vaccinated,
nope.
Huh?
Nope.
Should have got the typhoid vaccination.
I think I got typhoid from buying chicken wings from some dude in the woods, so it was crazy.
Yeah. He didn't have,
wasn't a refrigerated coat. Nope. Just straight up. But yeah. Boys, anything else you want to bring up tonight?
No, man, it was fun. Chris, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, Chris,
absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining the show, man.
100%.
I'm hoping the offer still stands on Thursdays during the season. We can talk bottom of the barrel.
Doesn't 100%. Matter, Chris. Anytime you want to come on the show, you let us know. And it's always a pleasure. You have a great rest of your night. Thank you for joining us. Drew, anything you want to talk about before you get out of here?
Nope. Nope. It was fun, man.
Nope.
Let's watch the U.S. Open. Happy Father's Day weekend to the fathers out there.
Yes, happy Father's Day to everyone. Who's winning the Open?
I'm going to say Brooks Koepka. I watch some videos of him. That every morning I wake up, right?
Brooksy.
There's these 2 books I read and, get my mind right. I have a couple cups of coffee, and then I just fool around on social media. And I saw this video of him today. There was this little blonde girl. She does this 1,000-yard challenge where she brings in a different PGA guy every week or something like that. And you have 3 drives, and you add them up, and she counts the scores. And Brooks went nuts. He had 3 drives. I've never seen such a swing like this. I mean, he set the record. So in 3 swings, I think he went 1,096 yards in 3 swings. So every swing was like 370 on a rope straight. I mean, it was insane.
And he's got 2 U.S. Opens already.
Yeah, 4 majors total, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I will take Brooks Koepka as well.
I'll go with that.
I'm not arguing with Brooks Koepka. Listen, the guys in the afternoon, I got it over here. They're not doing anything. But when the Marine layer comes in the morning, not to get golf talking, when the Marine layer comes in, the golf course gets softer, the scoring conditions will be more to the advantage of the guys in the morning. However, I don't think that we're going to get the second round done tonight, which means The guy's got to come back out in the morning, play 3 or 4 holes, shower, go back out. It's a long day, but we'll see. It'll be fun.
All right. And Drew, you got any shows coming up this weekend?
I don't think so. Not this weekend. No. I'm actually going to take some. I've done like 3 or 4 already this week. However, I think Father's Day weekend I'm going to play some golf on Saturday and eat some food. So my dad's coming into town. We're going to play a nice little golf course and enjoy ourselves.
Nice. Chris, you got any shows coming up?
Yeah, a lot. Too many to name, so I'll just leave it there. Per usual. I'm not trying to be like a narcissist. I'm very happy that people value my opinion or they want to hear me talk. So if you want to know what's going on, you follow me at Detroit Beastie. You can always DM me. And again, I say this a lot. I don't want it to be a weird, corny tagline, but I can only do so much alone, but together we can just smash stuff. So let's all get
100%.
Together and be kind and go from there.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Yes, thanks.
It's always good to see you, brother.
You too.
Everyone, thank you for joining the show tonight. We will see you next week. Maybe with Beastie, maybe not. We will see how things are going. Remember, follow us on Twitter at SomervilleCLE, at Detroit Beastie, at Detroit Dave7. And until then, remember, as always, if you live a life you love a life you live. Night, kids.